Hey, how's it going, everybody? What's going on? Power 96.5, Mix 1080. It's time for the WUFO Sport Report, and I know it's some folks out there in Bills Mafia country right now, super happy, unspeakable joy. Speaking of unspeakable joy, do you know the joy that I get from being on this show, just being blessed with the opportunity to be with Anita Razor Sharp in the building? And, oh, by the way, the man of the hour is here too. I want to also talk about the unspeakable joy that Daddy-O's Pizza gave me while I was eating. I was eating it while I was watching the Bills eat and devour the New England Patriots. Today, I was watching and eating, and it was such a blessing. Man, I tell you what, Bills Mafia had that win on the main line too. Anita Razor Sharp, they had that on the main line. And my God, speaking of the main line, if you don't know that this guy is on the main line for sure, he's here in the flesh right now. Mookie, the coach Hawkins, is in the building right now. My God, if you want some real mainline sports talk, you get with this guy right here, because we're about to break this thing down like no other station can. This the power station, baby. Power 96.5, WUFO Mix 1080. All right, Mook, the coach is in the building.
What's going on, man? I see you very overly excited. You know,
overly, unspeakable joy comes is the word of the day. Unspeakable joy comes to mind as the Buffalo Bills beat the New England Patriots 33-21.
Yeah. I mean, they came out and played, an aggressive ball game. I've been saying it ever since Tampa Bay in that second half. If they play the way they played in the second half, the rest of the season, they'll take care of business and do what they had to do. And obviously, the Bills went out there and did that. I guess we can ask Bill Belichick on the flip side is how embarrassing is it for the Bills never to punt the ball the entire game? And, Josh Allen didn't get sacked today. So, on the flip side, New England's going to run the ball. We get that. But the Bills were able to win majority of those battles, then lose them, previous matchup. But for all in all, I think it was a solid game for the Bills, a solid victory. To go into Foxborough is not easy to win. All right, let me repeat that. To go into Foxborough is not easy to win. So, we're going to give the Bills and their coaching staff the credit that they deserve for going out there and executing a well thought out game plan. There still was some blurts in between, but they was able to battle through those. So you got to give those guys the credit that they deserve for going out there and putting together a good game. So let us know. The phone lines are open 716-837-1112. You know what to do. The Bills are victorious and is in the driver's seat right now. The divisional driver's seat. We do got clips from Coach McDermott. We're going to hear from Josh Allen, my man, Little Dirty, and we're going to hear from that O-line with Deion Dawkins and Poyer and all those guys in just a bit. But nevertheless, Torch. I thought the Bills came out and I don't want to say imposed their will, but they just seemed like they were just on a whole nother level out there. The focus, the way they was just locked in. I guess third downs wasn't even an option, at some point. But just care to talk about Isaiah McKenzie in the day that he had today, in the absence of Cole Beasley, and Gabe Davis. We can't just look at it, from that perspective. But, obviously everybody is, because he's the guy that played the Cole Beasley role today. And the Cole Beasley role went off. So, care to talk about, Isaiah McKenzie's good day.
Man, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym? That's how Isaiah McKenzie should feel right now. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym? Y'all benched who? Come on now. Isaiah McKenzie balled out, y'all. Y'all need to be giving Isaiah McKenzie some love, some props on his social media right now. Thank Isaiah McKenzie for that phenomenal 11-catch, 125-yard day that he just had today.
I'm quite sure that, it's a lot of, candy being thrown around, for, Isaiah McKenzie and the way he went out there and played today. 11 catches, about 25, a touchdown. Let's just talk about on that one drive, the plays that he had back to back, those back to back plays that, they dialed up. Obviously, The Bills were aggressive. I can say that. Even inside the red zone, I still wanted to. I was strangling my TV at times because they abandoned the run. You know what I mean? Like, why are we still continuing to abandon?
Why did he do that?
The run. You know what I mean? Like, Zach Moss trips himself up at the half-yard line, and then we don't go back to the run game at all. We three straight pass plays, play action. Analytically, everybody knows what the Bills are going to do on the goal line. That's why they can't convert at times. So, they got together in that second half and ran the ball. You see when they gave it to Singletary inside the one, what happens, right? You give the guys a chance. Just give them a chance. And then, stuff like that wins ball games. They get you on top of the division. Just like it's a game of inches for a reason. We shouldn't have to overly think to get an inch. We almost did, on that 4th and 1 play, or not Josh getting enough because they're not executing that play. Josh running high underneath the center again. But nevertheless, they were able to do a bootleg, something that the Bills didn't do all game, catch them off guard, and Josh didn't make a play. But Josh Allen, man, I cannot say more than enough about him, the way he's going out there and playing. Went over 4,000 yards, by the way. So that's a salute to my guy, Dr. Josh. He became, the only passer in Bills history to go over back-to-back 4,000 yards. Salute to him again. He went over 100 yards. 100 touchdowns in his career. So that's another salute to Josh. And, what was it, 350? Is it 350 completions?
Yes.
Attempts. So guys out here balling, all right? He's out here balling. I don't know how he was left off the Pro Bowl team, especially the way, Justin Aber and those guys went out and performed today. They might want to recant that. But, nevertheless, everybody's going to be back riding the Josh Allen wave. When we get that. But, just keep in mind, Bills Mafia never, ever forgets, okay? So, nevertheless, the Bills are won, not done, part 2, all right? Defeating the New England Patriots in Foxborough 33-21, man. Balance a little bit there. Stephon Diggs, I feel that they, went to him early and often. I think it was just when the Bills play this way, they're just tough to beat. They went out and played up against one of the top defenses in the NFL. Let's not forget this, all right? And to go out there and put up 33 points, could have had more, okay? The Bills could have had more. The Bills could at least have 40 points out there today against one of the best defenses in the league. So you got to give these guys credit for where credit is due. And, 33 points against, a tough team. And then on the flip side, holding the 21 and the fashion that you held them to 21. It just lets you know that, hey, the Bills are one of the top teams in the AFC. All right. They just was in a quick little slump, and everybody was so quick to, cast them off. So here it is. Put up a shut-up time. The Bills are in control of the division. Up next, they bring in these Dirty Birds from Atlanta. Birds supposed to fly south for the winter, but this Dirty Bird is going to have to come up north, in January. So, we're going to see how well that Dirty Bird can fly. The Bills must maintain controlling their destiny by stacking dubs. Okay, win these next 2 wins. The Bills will definitely clinch the AFC East for a second straight year. But they still have home field implications if they could just win out. You never know what can happen, especially by the way the Chargers just took that L, drastically shifting the AFC playoff picture. But we definitely got coaches, take on some things. We're going to be playing a few clips for that. And, when we come off our first break. But nevertheless, Torch, what do you think this puts the Bills in reference to the division at this point?
They got to handle business. The Atlanta Falcons the next week look like the Jacksonville Jaguars game. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why I say that, because Again, this is one of those games where Buffalo, it's a trap game. It's one of those games that the Buffalo Bills need to take. Okay, yeah, you at home. So what? You need to take care of business. Don't get caught up in the hype of beating New England this week. You won. Move on, and beat the Atlanta Falcons, okay? You're playing a better quarterback next week. This ain't Mac Jones. This is Matt Ryan, okay? A better quarterback. You got Patterson, who's running the ball efficient. That offense can get busy, and Atlanta has a decent front four. So you definitely need to be careful of sleeping on this team like you slept on the Steelers week 1, or like you slept on the Jaguars.
Right.
Please do not sleep on the Atlanta Falcons, flying high Atlanta Falcons, okay? They not trying to migrate south. They looking at it like they got an outside chance of making the playoffs with their record surprisingly being almost 500. So that's how they looking at it right now. They looking at it, you know what? Either we're going to play spoiler or we're going to make a push to try to get to the playoffs. You spoke on something earlier, too, in your sentiments. You spoke about player personnel and when you in the red zone. Yeah, he annoyed me, by the way. With that, running the balls. Zach Moss trips. He trips and falls at the 1, and then you don't even run the ball again, which kind of gave the notion that you don't have confidence in your run game at the goal line, which kind of annoyed me.
At times, it gave me that feel. I mean,
right.
Especially after the second possession. I'm like, okay, I get that play call where they didn't get it, where they motioned the guy out in the middle. Josh tried to, attack the middle, but the guy flashed, and he tried to throw it to Emmanuel Sanders one-on-one. I get that aggressive play. I get that because the middle was wide open there. But the second stretch you get inside the red, I mean, we're not dedicating ourselves to the run. And, during that first drive, I feel the run game is pretty much what kind of got them there. They dink and dunk, but it was some solid runs that was able to sustain that drive to where you get inside the red and you don't run the ball. I mean,
Mookie, I felt like they was using that second down today as like the magic pitch when you're a batter and you had 3 balls and 1 strike. You never know what's going to happen. That's how I felt like the Bills was using this second down today, throwing a lot on second down. And I'm like, all you got to do is simple. Run the ball. Good God almighty, you left points on the board because of that. They should have put up a 40 spot on this team. It should have been kind of resemblant to last year when they was in Foxborough. They put up 40 points last year, right? In Foxborough, about 40 points. Again this week, could have had 40 points. You cannot waste opportunities against the Atlanta Falcons this week coming up at home. Please don't do that. You're a better road team than you have been a home team this year. Yes, I said it, Bills Mafia. Pay attention. You have been a better road team than you have been a home team. So at home next week, I expect that you do not miss out on opportunities and you put your foot on the throat of the team that you're playing by on 1st and goal at the 1, you run the ball. Don't play around and overcoach yourself with second and, let's try to, bootleg and throw a pass that went nowhere.
I would take the bootleg, but you still have to set up some sort of run to even call a bootleg.
Correct.
But I'm just more or less, we just got to dedicate ourselves to the run. I mean, we showing run formations and then we're just doing pass plays out of them like we actually ran the ball out of them. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. You know what I mean? Can we establish the run within, the lines between? That keeps you physical, okay? That keeps you physical at the point of attack inside the red zone. So that's what I want to see going forward these next 2 weeks. I mean, they did it it was Singletary and the defender one-on-one. Singletary won that battle to, get the score. And that's all we need, just to give your guys a chance. All right. I get the Josh Allen thing inside the red, but we're running him way too much inside the red instead of the running back at times.
Running him too much,
that
period.
stalls drives.
Absolutely.
Drives. But I mean, nevertheless, that's not going to take away from what the Bills were able to do today. Just stacking the wins again. That's right, my man Trav. Stacking those wins again. And, just getting back on top of the division the way it's supposed to be. Right now, that Jacksonville game, you could just, right now, ain't nobody thinking about that Jacksonville game. Ain't nobody thinking about, that week 1 loss to Pittsburgh, all right? Ain't nobody thinking about the mishap on 4th and 1, versus Tennessee. Right now, nobody's thinking about that. All right? Nobody can care less about that right now because the Bills are still controlling their own destiny. That's why I say that. All right. That's why I say that. The Bills are still in control of their own destiny. So, I mean, some of those things, I mean, right now, they don't matter. As long as the Bills take care of business these next 2 weeks. 2-game season. All right. The Bills can finish out 11-6, AFC East divisional champs. And, who knows where this could, fall in place in reference to home field advantage. I mean, Cincinnati play Kansas City next week. It's going to be some matchups in the AFC these next couple of weeks, and Bills have the lesser opponent of everybody. You know what I mean? So, the Bills control their own destiny, take care of business. Don't, take nobody for granted, Torch, as you were just saying in reference to, Atlanta. They had a tough one against Detroit. We know the situation that's going on to Detroit record-wise, but, they're starting to, gel out, towards the final stretch of the season. And, we don't want to look at that as, Detroit almost beat them, or they almost lost to Detroit, and we could just be lackadaisical, let Atlanta come in here and, they're still in the playoff race as well. So, I don't think the Bills come in with that mindset, especially learning off the experiences they've had during the season with teams a lot of, Jacksonville and in Pittsburgh, so, I think the Bills mindset is just how it's always been, ever since losing to New England, the first time around, they pretty much locked in and understood what needed to be done, going forward. I mean, they still had that heartbreaker in Tampa Bay, but, the way they played towards the end and the way they've been playing as of late, is definitely showing of, a Super Bowl caliber team at this point. So it's all good things in Buffalo. Everything is good right now. We got Victory Monday tomorrow. I know it's going to be great on Late Night Sports Eve and, round things off after we really dive in depth and speak with the coaches a little bit there. But nevertheless, the Bills are back on top of the division, defeating the New England Patriots 33-21.
Where they belong.
Other than Isaiah McKenzie's performance, what other plays or players do you think was like X factors of the game?
So to be very honest with you, I'm not going to say Josh Allen because that's the simplistic answer.
No, you can't say Josh.
I'm not going to say Josh, but I will say the offensive line did not make mistakes today. Mm-hmm. Spencer Brown did not have 5 penalties today. Mm-hmm. That helps a lot when you're on the road and you're trying to win a ball game that you need. The offensive line did a pretty good job. And by the way, you mentioned this earlier, he wasn't sacked today.
No sacks.
No sacks,
man, How about Deion Dawkins being on COVID, and then, coming right off of COVID and not really missing a beat and, not giving up a sack. Where was Matt Judon today? Nobody want to talk about that,
They had Judon moving.
Judon was a no-show today. I didn't hear him at all. I didn't hear him. I didn't see him make no plays. He tried to trip Josh in the beginning of the game. You know what I mean? But that's the only highlight of his day.
Well, Judon is similar to Zordon. If you ever watch Power Rangers, you barely see him on the episode. You barely see him. Judon was Zordon today.
Right.
So
and, that's why I say, that O-line played well, even though we lost Ike Boddicker. Non-contact, torn Achilles. You just, you can feel for the guy in the contract year. He was playing so well for the team, and now that's definitely going to fill the void in that O-line core for real, because Cody Ford is out. Ryan Bates stepped in, and I think he played well. I mean, to come straight in, to fill right in at left guard as well. I mean, left guard, that's a tough position to play. It's just as important as left tackle, protecting the quarterback's blind side, next level. But I think that the Bills are going to take this here with the momentum that they have and get back on track, playing up against Atlanta. And then obviously, for the division against the Jets right here at Highmark Stadium. So nevertheless, everybody, the Bills win 33-21. You tuned into the WUFO Sports Report. I need to raise a shot on the ones and twos. Andre Detroit Robinson in the building. Make sure you keep it locked. We'll be right back with more Bills Patriots recap with the coach Josh Allen and more. You're tuned into the legendary WUFO 1080 AM on Power 96.5. Keep it locked.
We are the legendary Mix 1080 WUFO and Power 96.5, a blend of R&B with your favorite throwbacks.
The legendary Mix 1080 AM WUFO and Power 96.5. These contest rules are in full effect for all contests at all times. To enter, listen to the station and follow instructions as announced over the air.
Shout out to everybody that's tuned in to Paul Robinson. My prayers go out to you, sir. My prayers go out to you. Christy, what's going on? Yes, they do need to stop that 2-point conversion stuff. They have not been successful.
30 days of the contest end date.
Not at all.
The WUFO studio. Between hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Participants and winners must be at least 12 years old, as determined by the company, unless otherwise stated. Only one entry per person, only one prize per household for each contest within any 30-day period. Any listener who wins a prize across the airwaves during any show on WUFO radio will be required to fill out and submit their prize winner sheet online. The prize winner sheet can be found on our website at power965radio.com under the contest tab. Employees of this multimedia group contest sponsors their agencies.
Oh, there's rumors that Russell Wilson may not be a Seattle Seahawks next year.
Any contest on the station or sponsored by the
They don't know what that's about.
can be viewed on the station's website at power965radio.com.
Need to go to the dentist? We got you. Need to get your daughter to the doctor? We got you. Need a little stability in your life? A future? We got you there too. It's Metro Bus and Rail. That's what we do. We make a difference in people's lives, not just getting people around. We get people ahead in their lives, careers, the kinds of benefits that matter right now.
Oh, let's go.
Healthcare,
I thought I was
retirement,
playing
sure.
this.
Oh, no.
Days off when you need them, and overtime when you need to make a little more. Don't know how to operate a bus? We got you. Metro will pay for your commercial driving.
Oh yeah, I forgot we gotta bring
Let me
our
say
own
that
headphones.
again. Get your commercial
I
driving
always draw mine
license.
anyway,
Metro
but with
takes
the
up the
speakers,
bill.
we don't really.
Like I said, we got you.
Right.
Plain and simple. Metro's a
Jacob,
nice
what up?
place to
Yes,
work.
McKenzie
Might
definitely
be the
showed up
best
today.
move you ever made. Take a look at job
Definitely.
options at nfta.com.
Beast of a
We
game.
always got you at Metro Bus and Rail.
Definitely a beast of a game.
West side, Riverside, side. Metro Bus and Rail.
I may be doctor needed for a Johnson, but I'm a mom first. My babies will be getting the COVID vaccine as soon as they're old enough. The risk from
They will.
COVID far outweigh any risk from side effects of the vaccine.
Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
From the east side to the west side, Buffalo's best blend of music. We are the legendary Mix 1080 WUFO and Power 96.5, a blend of R&B and your favorite throwbacks.
What's good? What's good? What's good, sports world? Welcome back to WUFO Sports Report. The Bills defeat the New England Patriots 33-21, back on top of the AFC division. No doubts, Coach Mookie in the building with Andre the Twitch Robinson and Razor Sharp on those 1 and 2s. Buffalo, let me hear you. 716-837-1112. Let me know what you think about my man Isaiah McKenzie's performance today. And, going forward, do you think? I got a fire starter question on that, son.
Oh, come on with it. Come on with it.
Got a fire starter question.
Thank
you think with the performance that Isaiah McKenzie had today in the Cole Beasley role is better than actually Cole Beasley playing in this role? Talk to me, Buffalo. 716-837-1112. Now, my man Saw say he's that dude now. He is that dude. I'm going to say that. You know what I mean? We're talking about the best slot in the NFL, Cole Beasley here. All right, let's not make no mistake about that. Okay? We got to give it up like that. But with the performance today in the Cole Beasley role, do we keep Isaiah McKenzie in that role going forward?
First and foremost, I want to say that that's definitely fire starter approved. Good God Almighty, you really had to go there. Bills Mafia, do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this right now? That is a hell of a great question, but I'm going to say no.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to say no is because by addition, you're adding more to what the Bills need as far as firepower. Why not have them all, man? This is what I've been saying for weeks. Why not have them all, man? Use them all during the game. You're a team that doesn't run the ball great or consistent. I mean, even today, Josh Allen, 12 carries, 64 yards. He's the leading rusher again this week. Man, let Isaiah McKenzie cook. Let him do what he do. Let him play the Debo Samuel role. Let him be the gadget player / I need a catch. Go to him.
He gives you more options on the field. He's a player that gives you more options on the field. Like you just said it. You can run the jet sweep with him. All right. Now let's not forget he can throw the ball too. Okay. Let's not forget he's faster than Beasley. Okay. So I mean, when you passing the torch anyway, Cole has to pass the torch to who? So I'm quite sure that that torch is going to be passed to Isaiah McKenzie. I mean, his contract is up at the end of this year.
Sir, are you insinuating that it's time to let Cole Beasley?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I'm not saying we just throwing my man Sauce away.
Sauce is phenomenal, man. When he listen, Sauce is Sauce.
But to have a faster Cole Beasley, a younger Cole Beasley is what this team needs right now. Is what this team needs. A healthier Cole Beasley, a younger, faster, healthier Cole Beasley.
I totally get what you're saying.
The Bills need right now, and I think right now, off this performance, I mean, so let me get this straight then. He's not going to be in the offense after performance he had. Now, the Bills did this last year when he had, 3 touchdowns, and he never touched the ball again. You know what I mean? I'm going to ask Coach tomorrow in reference to that. Now,
you're going to go fire starting tomorrow.
How he can't go backwards. He can't go backwards. Now, he was in the doghouse. Okay, he was in the doghouse. He was fumbling the ball at the wrong time, trying to make some plays out there. I get that. Okay, but now he bounced back this way. He bounced back this way to where he was a primary and a clutch for you. So we're just going to put that on the bench and put out our own fire and, just go with what we've been going with.
Shout out to the mighty Oba. I heard him say this before the show started. He said that Isaiah McKenzie's performance today made the Bills organization kind of look bad.
Right, and we're going to talk to the Oba on Monday. We're going to talk to the Oba tomorrow about this. You know what I mean? That's why we're going to get with the Oba tomorrow because I know he was sitting there watching that game.
Yes,
I know he had some things to say about Isaiah McKenzie.
I was listening.
So we're saving the mighty one for tomorrow. We're going to have the Oba on tomorrow. We're going to really talk that. That's why I say what I say right now. That's why I say what I say right now. That's why I say. I
would say yes, only if the Bills had a consistent run game. I feel like, okay, so if you're not going to run the ball, keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands so much running the football. Use Isaiah McKenzie. Those 12 carries that he had today, give Isaiah McKenzie 7 touches at the Rock doing what he do.
At this point, Dre, is week 15.
No, I'm talking about next season. But you said next season, right?
Right. It is what it is right now with whatever carries Josh Allen is getting. We're talking about Isaiah McKenzie. Does he go back to the bench? Like, do he go back to the bench after the performance he did today?
No.
Your offense, Coach David, does he goes back to the bench?
All right, so watch this. I'm going to deflect this off of me, and I'm going to put this on Brian Dable. Hey, Brian Dable, if you're listening out there, sir, you need to come up with some plays for Isaiah McKenzie all on his lonesome. I hope you got a 7-page playbook for Isaiah McKenzie, okay? Let him cook, okay?
My guy Travis just said bench Sanders. I mean, we can do that a little bit, but I think it's just up to Dable to get more creative. This game by McKenzie just lets him know how much of another weapon he has, in his arsenal that needs to be used in some capacity. This is it right now. You got to go with all guns a blazing. I'm going into these last 2 games, including playoffs, with all my weapons of destruction.
Travis, I actually like you. Thank you. Because you know what? While Mookie over here starting trouble, I had to deflect that to Brian Dable. But you actually just brought up a really good point as far as Emmanuel Sanders. Is Emmanuel Sanders' contract 1 year or 2 years?
He has some options for a 2 year, but right now the focus is on one. You know what I mean? He's not the issue. He's just coming off injury.
Well, here's my question.
I wasn't expecting Manny Sanders to really do too much today.
Well, here's my question. Now I got a fire starter. You wanted to fire? I got a fire starter. Is it time to have Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Isaiah McKenzie, and Cole Beasley next year, and maybe you let Emmanuel Sanders?
Well, it's going to be competition. It's going to be competition.
Does the offense run better that way?
I would like to see, those type of combinations out there. I would like to see Gabe and Isaiah and Beasley and Steph out there with Dawson sometimes. What type of problems that will pose to, a secondary. We'll have to see how teams will have to scheme, against that as well. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not the guy to get paid the big bucks to make that happen. Obviously, Dable's got,
Gabe is a stud though.
He's in a good situation.
Right. Is it time to let Gabe shine? Is it time for Gabe to really shine his shining light?
Well, we just got to see how creative he's going to get by having them all on the field at the same time. And that's the deal. Like, today they were very aggressive in the pass game. They was moving guys around. You see Steph sometimes line up on the outside. You see him sometimes line up at the number 2 slot. Sometimes you saw him lining up as the third man in. Making plays, moving guys around to make those plays, giving your offense a chance. I thought that, today was probably their best game as an offensive unit, collectively from a run game. Just from a balance standpoint, I think they had good balance today. They were able to find a tight end late, but Dawson Knox did some great jobs blocking on the edge, and the Bills found some successes there.
Question for you, Mookie, real quick before we move on. Was this Josh Allen's best professional football game?
I wouldn't say his best professional football game. I just say this is probably another performance from Josh. Surgery with a chainsaw. That's how we give it up, Dr. Josh. Because those touchdowns are just lasers he was just throwing in there. I think that the game is finally starting to slow down in certain areas with him where he's able to start, to manipulate zone coverages with his eyes. And, once he start doing that, then, you better look out because once he mastered that, then, obviously, he's already pegged to be one of the best plus young talents going forward. It's just going to state the case. But Definitely, he was his best game of the year. Best game of the year. Who said that? My man Richard Rush. My man Rich, saying that this definitely was his best game of the year. Yeah, we can get that. No turnovers, no sacks, 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. I think there was a solid performance by him. The Bills were 6 out of 12 on third down, but I think there was like 4 out of 5 on fourth down. So, the Bills offense definitely got to give those guys credit. And, without further ado, let's we got our guy Isaiah McKenzie on here to talk about his day. Let's hear what he had to say a little bit.
After the game, he said a lot to me. But in those moments, he believed in me, threw me the ball, and I made the plays when I could. And I thank him for that. I thank the coaches for calling those plays and giving me the opportunity. You guys like the matchup and you won 4 quarters. It's just not a game on forward. We always trying to find a mismatch, and when you say 41 was a bad player, he's a good player. Today I was just having a good day, and they kept feeding me.
I don't know if that's a little low. No. All right, it's like we a little low on that, but we have to push that over to a late night on Mondays. Getting back with Isaiah and those guys. But nevertheless, great performance by my man, Little Dirty, as they call him, on doing his thing up against the New England Patriots. You know what I mean? So we got those clips. We're just going to have to probably play you when, it's a little bit more clear for you guys to hear. We can hear it clear in here, but we couldn't hear it across the airways. And that's not good. That's a flag on the play. We call that. You know what I mean? So we're not going to, let that rock out like that. We're going to call timeout, get back in the huddle, and get back to doing what we do. All right. But nevertheless, great day for my guy, Isaiah McKenzie. defensively, Andre, and what we got to say about this defense today?
You couldn't stop the run again. Harris had 103 yards. That is the 5th time in 6 games that the Buffalo Bills have given up a 100-yard runner.
3 touchdowns.
I'm thinking, yes, and I'm thinking future. Yeah, they won today. But I'm telling you, if you want to make a playoff run, there's 3 things that have to resonate. 1 is stopping a run. 2 is running the football effectively. And 3, getting pass rush. All things that the Buffalo Bills have not been consistent on this year. And again, I was getting a little annoyed watching Damian Harris sitting up here, sweep left, toss right. That toss pitch that they did where he scored on the 16-yard touchdown.
But that was more like, that was misdirection. That manipulated the edge. They recognized what the Bills was doing in that instant, and the primary running back wasn't accountable for. That one I had a head scratch. I'm like, we know New England runs the ball 90% of the time, so why are we running elsewhere other than eyes should be on the running back? It seemed like the eyes wasn't on the running back in the beginning of the game, and he's the primary guy. So no matter what New England did in the backfield, whether it was giving a guy a jet sweep, faking a jet sweep, everybody should still be able to maintain their gap integrity. And you still see at times the Bills overrunning plays, overshooting their water, and a guy like Damian Harris, who loves to cut back, cost them at times during the stretch of that ball game. So, going forward, they have to, tighten that up. I mean, just stay in your cutback lane. Stop trying to overrun, your responsibility. And that's why I asked Tremaine. I mean, sometimes when teams go 21 personnel, you got 3 linebackers out there. And today I saw, Tremaine at stack. I saw Klein on the outside with Milano on the outside. I clearly saw Milano and Tremaine got to his destination, but Milano clearly overrun his block, and that enabled Harris to get that big 30-yard run, to start the game off on their second possession.
Yeah.
So having gap integrity in your assignment is something the Bills definitely have to clean up those cutback lanes. But I still feel that if you put Tremaine on the strong side, he's the guy that's really going to reset the edge for you. I'd rather have Tremaine Edmonds coming over to reset the edge than AJ Klein. You know what I'm saying? Like, is from a measurable standpoint, I want to go with the bigger guy to come and reset that edge coming downhill. I would rather have,
this is the Mike and Sam conversation.
Yeah, I would rather have Edmonds coming downhill as the Sam, resetting the edge with Klein filling that cutback lane. Of course he can set the edge. We just never tried him in setting the edge. If Tremaine Edmonds was in Dallas, I mean, we could talk about he could be playing a defensive player of the year. He's 6'6", 250. He's a middle linebacker. Now, we're not using him as an animal that he really is. Now, I get it. He's stack backer. He did come up and cover well, but a guy like Tremaine Edmonds, he should be having some sacks, to go along, with those tackles for losses and all that other good stuff. So I feel that they're not moving him around enough to make plays. And I would rather have him there to reset the edge in that instant than, over pursuing his gap. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that the Bills have to clean up. I mean, obviously New England is going to do what they do best, and that's run the ball. All right. They were able to score 3 touchdowns, but when it mattered the most, the Bills were able to, get them off the field. I mean, it was 1 for 10 on 3rd down. Okay. New England offense was 1 for 10 on 3rd down. All right. So, I mean, you would give them credit there. New England was forced to go on 4th down, multiple times during this ball game. And they were successful at times as well on 4th down. But the key ingredient is getting you off the field when it matters the most. And 1 out of 10 on 3rd down says a lot, coming from, a New England team that's, top 5 in scoring. But once again, the Bills defense don't get enough credit for that, right? The Bills defense don't get enough credit for, the job that they go out there and do against one of those top offenses on the road, by the way. But Chargers, they can get 5 guys and go ahead and get blew out by Houston. They can go out and get blew out by Houston, but we only got 1 Pro Bowler on. It's not even on a defense. How the Bills got a top number 1 defense in the league, and nobody's a Pro Bowler. Come on, NFL. Something ain't right with this picture. They don't do nothing but go out and improve each and every week. What type of defense there is. So once the offense come join the party, it's just like a match made in heaven when that happens. So the Bills, nevertheless, once again victorious on top of the division right now with the victory versus the New England Patriots, 33-21. Let's go update some scores across the NFL. Torch, what do we have here?
Well. Sports world, we have Seattle 24-17 over those Chicago Bears. I want to shout out Devon Stanfield, by the way. Shout out to you, my brother.
Stanfield, I'll be missing your calls, man. I don't be doing it on purpose.
Yeah, man. He over here. He over here watching right now. So shout out to Devon Stanfield that's in the building watching. Kansas City is putting a hurting on the Steelers. 30-3. This isn't even funny. It's not even funny. Kansas City has the ball at Pittsburgh's 46, looking like they want more. A hurt and a beatdown is what's going on. This game has been talked about in a lot of sports groups right now. The Las Vegas Raiders against the Denver Broncos. Right now, they're winning. Vegas is winning. A lot of folks thought Vegas wasn't going to win today.
I don't know how they didn't think that Vegas wasn't going to win today. I mean, you don't have Bridgewater out there. I get it having Drew Lock, but he's no Bridgewater. You know what I mean? So, of course, the Raiders is going to win this one.
So, the Raiders have a 17-13 advantage, and they're looking to put a field goal up as they're in Denver territory at the 23. It's 4th and 13. So, it looks like it probably will be 20-13. After that, Sunday Night Football coming up, Dallas and Washington at 8:20. You've seen the Titans beat the San Francisco 49ers 20-17. Green Bay won over Cleveland 24-22. The Colts won 22-16 over the Arizona Cardinals. You also had Detroit lose another thriller to Atlanta this week, 20-16. The Buccaneers took care of business over Carolina 32-6. And again, for those who've been sleeping, I told y'all this. Stop sleeping on the Cincinnati Bengals. I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it for the rest of the season, too. 41 on Baltimore again. 41-21 beatdown of Baltimore this week.
Yeah, they did it the second. They did it before.
Right, they did it the first time.
They did it before with Lamar out there. So I don't understand why they just thought it wasn't going to be any different the second time around without Lamar and a few other
Cincinnati's winning the division.
So let me just say this, though. Can we put everything to rest now about Baker Mayfield being better than Josh Allen?
Definitely.
Can we put that? I don't want to ever be in any more debates about Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield. Let me just put that to bed. You know what I mean? So the whole sports world. I don't want to hear it no more. Baker Mayfield is nowhere near better than Josh Allen. I'm grateful for the Cleveland Browns selecting him number 1 overall. So that gave the Bills the extra incentive to go ahead and go get their guy, because they went and got their guy.
Yeah,
right? And right now, Josh Allen is looking better than any quarterback in that 2018 draft class.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Hey, my man Richard Rush just said that. Even over Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? So, the cream rises to the top. You know what I mean?
So disrespectful.
And it's not a sprint. It's a marathon, by the way. And right now, our guy Josh is on the right side of what a franchise quarterback should look like, should be like, should play like. All right? In and out. I'm not getting that out of Lamar, and I ain't getting that out of Baker. Baker, you should not be throwing 4 interceptions at this point of your career. All right, and you want to be talked about amongst the greats right now amongst your class.
You know what's funny? That was the first time he threw 4 interceptions in a professional football game. Actually, and it's funny, it was against Green Bay, and obviously there's some talk. But we ain't going to get into all that right now. But I also want to say that the Texans 41-29 over the Chargers. Justin Herbert, you guys put him over Josh Allen too. Highly disrespectful, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there. Very disrespectful. Rams 30-23 over the Vikings. We also had the Jets actually win a game over the Jacksonville Jaguars 26-21. And Philadelphia 34-10 over the Giants. And then Monday night, you got Miami versus New Orleans. That's actually a game that some folks need to watch because there's been conversation right now that the Miami Dolphins might make a push to be in the playoffs over the Patriots. Yeah, Could it happen? Can it happen?
Let's talk about that. We got 2 games coming up tonight. You got Dallas and Washington, and then you got Monday night, with the Saints and the Dolphins. And I do believe that, the Miami Dolphins, can, jump in this playoff race, especially with the loss to the Chargers right now. That definitely shook things up in the AFC. With that happening, nobody thought that, Houston would beat the Chargers today. Nobody. Nobody. If you bet it Chargers in Vegas, I hope that just wasn't,
you couldn't bet Keith Sweat that that they was gonna lose to the Texans.
Everybody, whoever betted on the Chargers today, I know is sick right now. So, that definitely shook up the division, the conference actually. And Miami definitely has a good chance. I think they go on. I think they beat the Saints tomorrow on Monday night. I think that Tua to Waddle, that Tua to Waddle connection. Gaskins is back. Gesicki, I think they're starting to gel at the right time. Their offense, to me, is just overall better than New Orleans. New Orleans got Ian Book, a 3rd-round quarterback in. And with that defense that Flores brings to the table is going to cause some problems. So I'm definitely going to say Miami goes out and win tonight, on Monday night and keep their playoff hopes alive. But I guess we got a caller on. We got a caller. Caller, you are live. State your case. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Caller, you're live.
Oh, yeah, you can hear me.
We can hear you. What's going on, Monster?
Which is man, hold on. Let me see if I can switch this to my phone. I got it on my iPad. Hold on a second.
He got to get his life together. It's all good.
You guys can hear me now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. So what do you think about?
It's just, I sat down and I watched this game, Mookie and Dre, with my 11-year-old son. And he's just now getting into football, so I had to explain to him. So it got the points in the game, and I'll get to that and what have you. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. But some of the things I wanted to touch on were the opportunities left on the field. Yeah, we won the game, but going into the playoffs, we can't leave those opportunities on the field. The drive that we had with 10 minutes left, he misses Kumaro. Okay, that's fine. So then we get a penalty that drives us back. And then we on the knock touchdown. He throws a touchdown and knock, we get a holding penalty. That's twice he scored in that drive. We walk away with 3 points. We can't do that in the playoffs.
Right.
These teams aren't it's not going to work out well for us. You know what I'm saying? Just the inability on those plays. When we got down on the goal line and we got stuffed, Josh Allen is 6'5", 240 pounds. Have him fall forward 3 times. You mean to tell me he can't get a half yard?
Dude, that's like an execution on Josh's part. He posed over. But he kind of.
I don't know what happened in the off week, but Stephon Diggs, he gave a little bit of his dog to Isaiah McKenzie. That's off to Isaiah McKenzie. Now, I said it before. I'm not impressed with Stevenson in the way he plays. He seems very nervous back there and very scared when he's returning kicks. So for McKenzie to come out and have the game that he had today to prove to everybody, and you could tell he was feeling it, it was absolutely fantastic to see. And you gentlemen are absolutely right. And congratulations, because you guys are having a fabulous show. I wasn't even going to call and break up your momentum. You guys are having a really good show. But as far as the Cole Beasley to Isaiah McKenzie that you brought up, it's 6 of one and half dozen of the other. Because Cole Beasley has the ability to just get open and get those 3 to 4 yards that he needs better than McKenzie. But on the flip side, McKenzie can get those 3 or 4 yards and take it to the house where Cole Beasley can't. So that's on Brian Table to figure out in certain situations who's the best player to put in there. McKenzie proved it today that he belongs on the field and he cannot go back to the bench. McKenzie also proved today that he can do what McKenzie needs him to do and that the offense needs him to do. There was no Tim Davis. Diggs was covered. He had a real good game. You see the dog and Diggs. You know what I mean? But you got to be able to just use these pieces and put them all together. And today, regardless of the points you left on the field, as you gentlemen talked about earlier, you got to figure this out before the playoffs. We can't have this in the playoffs.
Right. Can't have those type of, misfires, in the playoffs. Execution got to be on point. The players have to be in position, and they got to go out there and execute the play. So with that being said, Josh got to learn how to execute those plays. He's running too high. He got to know how to stay low and keep his legs moving and go forward to get those that yard, that half yard. He's stepping too high, and he's getting caught. And I don't like that play. We should just stay in the spread and keep our RPO going. Give it to the running back for a half a yard and see what that gets you. So with that being said, we're going to take our next break. We'll be right back with more Buffalo Bills and Patriots. Bills cap up the division 33-21. You're tuned into the legendary WUFO 1080 AM on Power 96.5. Y'all keep it locked.
From the east side to the west side, Buffalo's best blend of music. We are the legendary Mix 1080, WUFO, and Power 96.5, a blend of R&B and your favorite throwbacks.
It's the $1,000 minute or Diddy in the morning. Your share of $1,000 with Diddy in the morning.
All right, so listen, let's get into our $1,000 minute game, everybody. Somebody is going to win some money.
Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the legendary Mix 1080 AM Power 96.5.
I'm one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I'm living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligrams.
I like that view. I think I'm gonna put it like this from now on.
Is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR positive, HER2 negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy.
Definitely.
Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding.
So here's a fire starter question. Ready?
Low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood.
Why didn't they call that on Rasul Douglas last night? But they called it on Kevin King.
We help people that have been in a car
in the NFC Championship game. Why did they call that
so we're
in the NFC Championship game of pass interference?
And your life.
But Rasul Douglas did the same thing last night against Cleveland, and they didn't call it.
Expenses add up as well.
That was the teams.
Okay, I'm glad that you answered that question. You heard it. Mookie August even said it right here. Because the team, exactly.
Along with fighting the insurance,
just proving that there's bias in the NFL, by the way.
So if you are a loved one,
super bias. For those who don't think there's no bias,
it will put you, your health,
sure there is,
and your family's well-being.
Sure there is. Then they came up with the whole explanation. Well, if the receiver goes into a corner's chest, he's got the right to fight shot for position. Well, isn't that the same thing that happened with Mike Evans winning the Kevin King and the Kevin King pulled him? I saw the same thing. I mean, and the funny thing is, Rasul came out with an interception.
Any risk from side effects of the vaccine?
Yeah, I said
at least you know he didn't do the Murphy Bunting thing, which was grab his shoulder pad out of his joint and get an interception.
We are the legendary Mix 1080, WUFO, and Power 96.5, a blend of R&B and your favorite throwbacks.
What's good, sports world? Welcome back to the WUFO Sports Report. I'm your host, Mookie Hawkins. In the booth with me once again, Andre the Torch Robinson, and we have Razor Shop on the ones and twos. All right, now, I have to keep in mind, we got a nice show coming up. You know what I mean? My man Raj Shomo, we're going to be, celebrating, Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? We'll have a nice show coming up, man. You don't want to miss that. You know what I mean? In place of access to Africa, we definitely gonna have a special show, for Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? So once again, the Buffalo Bills have regained the throne in the AFC East. You know what I mean? Manhandling New England, 33-21. All right. They got 2 games left. If they win out, they'll win the division, and potentially, we'll have to see how this thing sort out with the rest of the AFC, but nevertheless, the Bills are in a good position. New England plays Miami last game of the season in Miami. And you think that, Miami is not going to really be playing for the playoff lives at home versus New England. I mean, that's going to be your next matchup that you want to see. New England might not make the playoffs, but they do play Jacksonville next week. So that's a good game to get back, in the swing of things, to hold your position, if you will, for a playoff spot. So it's going to definitely boil down to New England and Miami. Next week, you got Kansas City and Cincinnati. All right. So, just right here is some more games that could catapult the Bills, in their, the AFC, to hold their spot. You mean to tell me the Bills, knowing going into the last week of the season, that only thing they have to do is win, and not only will they be the AFC East champions, they will have clinched home field play throughout the entire playoffs? Do you have any idea how Highmark Stadium is going to be, the last game of the season, if that's what the Bills are actually planning for, coming 2 weeks? The excitement. I know everybody is still thrilled about today's victory, but knowing that, the possibility of the Bills playing the Jets right now for all the marbles. We play the Jets for all the marbles week 17. The division, playing home field throughout. Do you have any idea on how crazy this place is going to become? Right now, we already know what it was like to clinch, but to clinch home field throughout, do you have any idea how crazy that's going to make Bills fans to know that the road to the Super Bowl goes right here to Western New York? That's going to be amazing. And definitely that, because, WUFO will definitely be there and have a front row seat to, all of that good stuff. So that would definitely be a great, Christmas present in itself, even though the Bills just gave Bills Mafia probably, one of the greatest gifts they can get this season was a victory versus the Patriots. Okay. And now they're back on top in control of the division, something that Bills fans has been waiting for, since last season, basically. So the Bills control their own destiny in that regard. So what are your sentiments, man, going forward for the Bills in these last two games here?
Handle business. Take care of business. Mm-hmm. Be aggressive. Make sure you don't outcoach yourself and don't sleep on no team. I don't care what team it is, whether it's Atlanta or the Jets. You go, you're at home, you take care of business, you beat up the Atlanta Falcons, then you turn around and you match that intensity or even build on that intensity, and you take it to the New York Jets. I mean, they should blow.
Well, we got Atlanta Falcons first.
Right. No. I'm talking about when they beat the Atlanta Falcons.
We got the Atlanta Falcons.
Then you take that intensity.
Can't look past those guys.
Right.
We got Cordell Patterson coming in. He's a dual threat type of guy. A receiver they put at running back. He does, causes a problem. So it's going to see. I can't wait to see what type of matchup that the Bills are going to have versus Atlanta, because, this is a team that passes the ball a lot. And, the Bills have one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. So it's going to be a match to see. And it's only good to see our guy Stephen Means get to come back home. Stephen Means, Grover Cleveland product, Fruit Belt Rocket product. Get the opportunity to come back home, and play the hometown team. So hopefully we can get opportunity to get Steve here on the radio either Monday night or Wednesday night to talk about, him coming back home to play in front of the home crowd and family and things of that nature. So that's definitely going to be a good thing to see. But, the Bills definitely have to take care of business in that regard to, control what they need to control within the division. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to today's show. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas out there and, a Happy New Year, coming up. But listen, we got a great show coming up, right? You don't want to miss that, all right? We're going to be celebrating Kwanzaa. My guy Rosh Romo is on the ones and twos. We got my man D Wayne's in the building. D Nice, what's good with you? Late night sports, we're going to have a lot to talk about, recapping what happened in the NFL tonight and, what's at stake in college football as, we're near the quest of the national championship continues. So, with that being said, Torch, you got any shout-outs before you go?
Shout out to Miss Goodies, by the way. Shout out to Miss Goodies. She definitely took care of me over the holiday break while I was working. So shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who supports people and believes in power and positivity, whether it's Rise Up Family, whether it's you, Mookie, whether it's Pat, whether it's anybody that's doing something positive. So shout out to y'all. And man, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and
Happy New Year, everybody. So that's all right. Access to Africa Kwanzaa special is on deck. All right, everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe and wash your hands.
Serving Orchard Park, Lackawanna, Cheektowaga, Amherst, Buffalo. We are the legendary Mix 1080, WUFO, and Power 96.5.